You're in a tense conversation. You say something that clearly upsets them. Their posture changes, their eyes shift, but they don't yell. They don't argue. They just go quiet. The air grows thick with everything they're not saying. And in that moment, you probably assume the worst. You think they're being cold, punishing you with silence, or that they simply don't care enough to fight. It feels like a door slamming shut. But what if that's not it at all? What if that silence means the exact opposite? That they care so much, they're terrified of what they might say next. For those who resonate with the INTJ personality type, this experience might sound very familiar. For many of us, conflict is an external sport. We talk it out, we might raise our voices, and we process our feelings by putting them out there in real time. When someone suddenly withdraws from that, it can feel like a personal rejection, or a manipulative power move known as stonewalling. It's easy to see their silence as a weapon, a form of passive aggression meant to punish. This is a common misinterpretation when dealing with certain personality types, especially those who identify as INTJ. We often project our own emotional rulebook onto them and assume their quiet is an absence of feeling. But if we look at this through the lens of personality models like the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, we can uncover a totally different story. To understand their silence, you have to appreciate the complex machinery that might be working furiously just behind their eyes. To be clear, the MBTI is a model for understanding personality, not a set of unchangeable rules that predict everyone's behavior. But for those who find the INTJ description fits, this framework offers one possible explanation. Within this model, an INTJ's primary way of navigating life is often described through introverted intuition, NI, and extroverted thinking, TE. In simple terms, this suggests they are geared to see deep underlying patterns and then organize their world based on what is logical and efficient. They don't just want to solve a problem, they want to understand its root system and build a permanent, logical solution. A sudden, intense conflict can feel like a system crash. It introduces messy, illogical data points that disrupt that entire process. The first instinct for someone in this mode isn't to express this chaotic data, but to withdraw in order to analyze it. This is where their less used functions may come into play. According to the model, their tertiary function, introverted feeling, phi, is an internal compass for their deep, private, and often intense personal values. When hurt or angered, this function gets activated, but it processes things internally. It doesn't naturally share what it's feeling in real time. Its job is to check if a core value has been violated. At the same time, under extreme stress, some MBTI theorists suggest they can experience a grip reaction involving their least developed function, extroverted sensing, SE. This function deals with the immediate physical world. For an INTJ under stress, this can lead to impulsive, out-of-character actions, or, more commonly in a conflict, completely shutting down sensory input to escape the overwhelming feeling of a heated argument. So they might go quiet to run an intense internal analysis. They could be replaying the conversation, cross-referencing it with past data, consulting their core values with phi, and desperately trying to formulate a logical, precise, and truthful response with TE. For many operating this way, a guiding principle is to avoid causing harm with their words. They might rather say nothing at all than say the wrong thing, something inaccurate, unfair, or emotionally volatile that they can never take back. If you're finding this breakdown of the INTJ thought process useful, take a moment to subscribe. We explore the psychology of all the personality types, helping you better understand yourself and the people in your life. How to communicate with a silent in. So, if you're facing this wall of silence, what's the right move? The natural instinct is to push for a reaction. Why aren't you talking to me? Just tell me what you're thinking. However, within this personality framework, pushing for an immediate verbal response is often counterproductive. It can add more emotional data and pressure to a system that is already overloaded and trying to reboot. The most effective approach might be to give them what their system is begging for: space and time. But, and this is the crucial part, frame it as a collaborative pause, not an abandonment. Instead of demanding an answer, try saying something like, "I can see that what I said had an impact, and I really want to understand your perspective. Please take the time you need to process it, and let's talk again when you're ready." This simple statement can be revolutionary. It acknowledges their internal state without judgment, validates their need for processing time, and reaffirms your commitment to resolving the issue together. It turns a potential standoff into a shared goal. For any INTJs watching, a key area for growth can be learning to vocalize this need. Instead of just disappearing into silence, a simple, "I need some time to think about this before I respond," can prevent a world of misunderstanding and hurt feelings. Think back to that tense moment, the heavy quiet after a sharp disagreement. You might have thought it was coldness. You might have believed it was indifference. But now consider a different interpretation. What if the silence isn't an act of withdrawal from you, but a retreat into themselves in order to protect the connection with you? From this perspective, that silence is not empty. It's filled with a flurry of analysis, a deep consultation of personal values, and a profound sense of responsibility to both the truth and the relationship. They might be quiet not because they don't feel anything, but because they feel it so intensely they don't trust themselves to articulate it correctly. They are searching for the right words, because to them, words are tools for building or for demolition, and they want to be sure of which one they are doing. The next time you encounter that silence, try to remember what it might really be. It may not be the closing of a door. It could, in fact, be a sign of respect for the relationship, a pause, not an ending, a quiet testament that they care enough to get it right.